Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. A couple of quick announcements. One is I'm just going to kind of repeat myself for the next week or so, and that is to say that we have a new delivery schedule through the rest of the summer, really through August. WickedStocks.com team members are in different time zones, so it's much easier for us to just present early in the morning for that trading day. You're normally accustomed to receiving this an hour or two after the closing bell for the next trading day. Now you can expect it in your inbox or on YouTube channel. Wicked Stocks, of course, YouTube channel is the Tesla report by 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is our promise to you. You can expect it like you can expect the sun rising out of the east every single trading day. We will not miss a beat. You'll have it by 6 a.m. New York time, several hours before the opening bell. Secondly, we put out a stock pick at wickedstocks.com this week on Mobileye Global. It is an Israeli automated driving technology company that actually is domiciled, I believe, in the United States. But solid, buy signal opportunity. We're kind of right on the edge of it right now. And it does present meaningful gains, at least 20% over the near term, like 3 to 5 week is the possibility for a 20% move if we get the buy signal. So we are right there. You can see that for free by going to wickedstocks.com and taking advantage of our 5-day free trial, where you'll also get daily triple Q and daily SPY analysis, weekly Apple stock analysis, 2 stock picks every week. We've got some that are still very relevant and pending. You can see it all by going to wickedstocks.com. All right. The daily Tesla report for Wednesday, June 25th. Let's take a look at the big picture. We are back at the low to mid 350s. 351.39 is a 50% upside retracement from the December high against the more recent April low, and 354.23 is a 2-year rising channel structure that still has relevance as a ceiling of resistance. This area we tested about a month and a half ago, fell away from. When we fell away, we were anticipating, if you recall, the 302.25 rising channel bottom, which was in the low 270s at that time. Maybe it was the mid 270s. We tested it, it held nicely, and here we are again. We can continue filling out this wedge for the next couple of weeks. From the low 350s, mid 350s, we can fall back to 302.25 over the next 1 to 2 weeks. Continue to fill this area out before the market then would likely tip its hand, would have to actually, because this wedge does close entirely by later August, will tip its hand in one direction or another. And if we do close Friday above the 354.23 formation, that sets up a long-term buy signal. By the end of the year, we could actually see 516.58. Now, on the way up, there will be resistance areas, 2 to 3 week swing trade opportunities, for instance, closing above 354.23 on Friday. It really does need to be a weekly settlement. Does set up 396.07 as our next 2 to 3 week target. This will continue to climb into the low 400 area next week, can contain weekly buying pressures, and then we could trade inside of this for several weeks before the market then presumably closes eventually above the 396.07 channel top, then setting up that 516 area within a couple of months of doing so. That's just sort of a scenario that I could see play out. But until then, we're holding below the 351.39 to 354.23 area. We'll keep 302.25 in reach as a 1 to 2 week objective. On the way down today, I do have 327.23. That is this kind of 2-week inside channel that can contain today's lows. And from here, we could round back up by tomorrow, back into the low to mid 350s. If we close today below 327.23, I think we've got a good high for the week. And within 3 to 5 days of closing below 327.23, that 302.25 targeted channel bottom is likely, where once again, we can bottom out now into July, and from here round back up into the low to mid 350s again within a couple of weeks of doing so.
If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and NVIDIA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity. Try it all free for 5 days. Cancel at any time.
If we were, over the next week or two, to close below 302.25, I see that as a significant sell signal through the rest of the third quarter. The 272.87 downside 5/8, then likely again in as little as 3 to 5 days. Yes, we can bounce here. I don't expect a long-term low anymore at 272.87. At the time we tested 272.87 a few weeks ago, it lined up nicely with the channel bottom. And I give the channel bottom more emphasis as a trend-defining line study. In other words, closing below 302.25. I do think by the end of July you could anticipate a return into the low 220s, 221.86, and dare I say within several months of closing below 302.25, the 160s. 5-year channel support, able to contain selling through the rest of the year and possibly through all of 26. Let's take a look at the upside, that if we happen to close above 354.23 today, we should probably tomorrow reach the 375.92 level. 375.92 is a rising 2-week channel top that is sort of kind of a hesitation point on the way up to 396.07. Once again, know that 396.07 becomes a clear objective if we close Friday, a couple of days from now, above 354.23. That's not to say that, it gets a little nuanced here, of course, because if you sell 354.23, I'm not asking you to endure a rally up to 375.92 or perhaps even 396.07 within a full week of trade, staying short, waiting for that weekly settlement. No, this is where risk management comes into play. I don't allow any trade to rob me, if you will, of 2% of my trading capital on any endeavor. So that's a rule that's actually very widely followed throughout the institutional trading community, and you might employ the same, maybe you already do. But if you sell 354.23, unless you have a very light position, I would not endure then bullish continuation to 396.07. So I'll let you settle that one for yourself. But just know that if we close the week Friday above 354.23, our next 2 to 3 week signal is 396.07, and our next 3 to 5 month could take the better part of a half a year, 516.58, if we close above 354.23 at the end of a week. Until then, we've tested it, and we do now have 302.25 as a 1 to 2 week downside target. Make that within 3 to 5 days of closing today below 327.23. But we could trade inside of this. This is a solid day tradable area, buying 327.23, selling the low to mid 350s, closing below 327.23, 302.25 likely within 3 to 5 days. I think I've said it all, and I'm going to leave it at that for Wednesday's Daily Tesla Report. I'll be back tomorrow with Thursday's Tesla. You have a great day.